and welcome to Bookkeepers Bootcamp. I'm Zoe Whitman. I'm joined by Joe Wood and Krishna Patel from Five Accounting. Hi, Krishna. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good. We're good, thanks. We've had lots of these sessions. It's amazing. I haven't had a lot of breathing time, but no, it's really a really exciting week for us. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk today about rebranding your business. Now, Krishna has recently been through a rebrand and we've been watching it all online. I follow Krishna on Instagram and I was like, this looks really amazing. We need to talk to you about this. And I think it's really particularly topical because we've been talking about social media and marketing all week. We've just come off of a session with We Are PF and we were talking about marketing and having a consistent brand. So I think this is probably something on people's minds, or perhaps they're starting out and thinking, I need to do something about how I look online or what my website looks like, but I don't know where to start. So we thought it would be really good and helpful to talk to somebody who's just been through this in real life. So, Krishna, do you want to start by telling us a bit of your background and about Five Accounting?
Yeah. So I've been in accounting and bookkeeping ever since 2011, and I studied it at university. So I live and breathe it basically. But after my second child in 2017, I kind of came to I was working in industry before, and I thought, okay, I can't be doing this and looking after two children. So I actually found an opportunity at a local practice, and I worked there for a little bit, and I actually quite liked the practice and I liked being involved with clients. So I then went freelance in 2018 and I subcontracted with various firms and clients. And then this year in March, I kind of took the plunge to go out and do this fully on my own. So I set out as a sole trader, and I set out with a name called Kate Accounts, which I didn't like, but it was something in my mind, like I just had to get out there and I just went with something. But because I didn't feel aligned with it and it just kept playing on my mind, I never really pushed myself out. So in May, I kind of really thought about things and I thought, no, it can't carry on like this. And if I'm going to be doing this seriously, I need to really be comfortable with what I am and who I am and how this is going to go in the future. So I took the decision to go and rebrand, and I also set up as a limited company. And I thought, better to do this all now so that, you know, like you say, start as you mean to go on. So that's what I've done. And then on Clubhouse, I came across Sherelle Griffith. I think, Zoe, you know her. And I kind of spoke to her a little bit and we spoke on Instagram, and then I kind of had a discovery call with her, and she's really helped me with my brand and coming up with my values and really making me think about what my business is and how I'm going to take this forward. And I think that's how I've now based this, and that's why I've gone through the whole rebranding process of Five Accounting, and I launched that in June just this year. So we've only been 4 months, but it's going really well. So yeah.
Love it. So, okay, so talk us through when you're thinking about a brand and, you know, you think, okay, so, and I love what you said, you know, you started out, you just got out there, K Accounting was what you did, but you never felt aligned to it. And actually, and this is what we was just saying actually in the last session, when you get your branding right, it can give you so much more confidence. Have you really felt that confidence shift since you've got a brand and that you're happy with?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of really sat down to think about what was important to me, and I got my values down, and we worked through archetypes and we did all this research on it. And I really spent some time just alone thinking about what I stand for, and that's given me the confidence to really push myself out there. And I think it's really important for you to be happy with who you are before anybody else can be happy with you, who you are.
Yeah, you use the word archetype, Krishna. Can you describe what that means for people?
Oh yeah. So I didn't know what this meant until I came across it in the marketing either. So it's basically 12 characters with certain personality traits, attitudes, and behaviors, and it kind of makes you think about who your ideal client is and where they fit in these archetypes. And then that helps you really build out how to communicate with them, and so that you know who you're speaking to. And it's kind of like, it's not like stereotypes, it's like the opposite end. And it really helps you understand who they are, and people can relate on an instinctive level. with you.
So did you learn about who you want to work with and who your ideal client is? And would you be happy to share with us who you're now aiming your business towards?
Yeah. So for me, the main thing that stood with me is the type of business owner that they are. And I worked from that first. And I knew they had to be someone that was really passionate about their business, really wanted their business to grow, and they were excited about it and they lived it and breathed it. And, that was a very important thing for me, and for them to be really genuine as well. And then from that, I found that actually a lot of them were service-based. So I only really work with service-based business owners. And then as time has gone on, because of the type of services and the way I work, it suited more to limited companies because, like you say, start as you mean to go on. So they've really thought about where they want, and they've realised that this is the way to go forward. Or they've started off a sole trader, and while working together, we've realised like the next stage is now to incorporate, and then after that is the VAT, or it might be the other way around. But they've always wanting to like push themselves at each stage. I haven't got like an industry niche yet. Just it's quite broad service based, and we'll see how time goes on and if that niche happens.
When you thought about the kind of person you want to be working with, and they're service based, they're very passionate about what they did, how did that then translate to how your brand looks, or how you wanted people to feel when they look at your social media or at your website? I think that's quite hard for people, isn't it, sometimes, like to think this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I've not really thought about that, and I've kind of just put it out there. I guess it's just how they relate to me, and once they jump on a call, they realise that actually the personality matches, or it doesn't match. But I don't feel like I do anything specifically on social media to attract service-based industries, which I should do. And I think the social media is going to change a little bit as the week goes on. So
and this is the thing, we're all, you've learned so much this year. You've gone from being a sole trader to a limited company, and you've learned all about your marketing and archetypes of your clients and all of this stuff. Like we're constantly evolving, constantly learning. I've learned so much this week. I know Zoe has too. And it's and sometimes you need to be in a different place to hear something. So you might have heard some of this stuff last year, but you wasn't ready to take it on board. Whereas now you're in a different setup. You're like, oh, okay, I get what that means now. And this is now relevant to me. Now, I must say, your photos are stunning. What did you do to, I mean, it helps that you're actually naturally beautiful, obviously, but the pictures are just so beautiful. Did you get a professional photographer? How did you go about that? And what did you kind of say to them about the feel of it, or how did you choose what to wear? All of those things. Just let's talk about a bit of photography, because we haven't touched that so far this week.
Yeah. So right at the beginning, obviously, selfies was what I used, and that's not ideal because you can tell that it's a selfie. So I've gone and approached a local photographer, and she was really lovely, and she made me feel really comfortable. But I said to her, I kind of told her who my ideal client is, and I said to her that I'm not really, like one of those strict in a suit boot type, so that's not going to suit me, and it had to be a very friendly picture. And we did loads of photos, and from that I chose this one. And yes, I am wearing a formal dress, but it's the smile on my face, I think, and I was drawn to that. So if I was drawn to it, I'm sure others would be. But yeah, so I just wanted it to be a very happy picture, which is what I went with. But I think it does make a difference to get a proper photo done.
What else did you have to do then? So you got some great photos so that you were like really confident to get yourself out there and be like, yep, this is me. You've changed the name of your business from K Accounts to 5 Accounting Limited, and you've incorporated a company. What else did you need to do as part of the rebrand? Did you, I guess your social media changed, and what happened? Did you have a kind of to-do list?
Yeah, so I had a to-do list. Like obviously from when you go from sole trader to limited, there's various things that you have to do. So I had that on the list. And then with my branding, I changed my social media. The colours very much stayed the same, but the whole look changed slightly. And having that consistently come through was quite an important thing. And then I also made sure I posted consistently on LinkedIn. I think I use LinkedIn slightly more than I do Instagram, but I think I use Instagram to show sort of the personal side of me, and I use the stories to do that. And from that, I kind of knew that certain things had to change in my business, like processes and like my onboarding and my discovery call. I've now got like a questionnaire when I have that initial meeting with a client, and that really helps put a structure in place. And that way I'm doing things consistently and the same with every time, rather than, okay, what am I going to talk about, or what questions am I going to ask? So I think it's quite important to have good processes in place as well.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because this is what we were talking about earlier, that the brand isn't just about the photos and just about the logo and just about the website. The brand follows through with how you communicate with your prospects, how you onboard a new client, how you talk to them on a monthly basis, how you engage with them online. All of that stuff is part of your brand. And yes, it starts with the marketing, but it very much goes through all your processes and systems, and even to how you ask for payment, what time of the month you ask for payment, how do your clients respect you enough to pay you because you've built that rapport. Do you feel like the clients have you taken on any new clients since you've become Five Accounting Limited?
Yeah, actually, I took the majority of my clients after I rebranded, so that kind of helped. And I think because I am confident with it and I am excited about it, it comes across. So the prospects that I speak to, they can relate and they see the excitement, and they are signing up more, I found, than before. So, I think it's made a really big difference. And another thing I do is I always have my brand values in front of me, so that when I'm talking to them, they are always at the forefront of how I come across, and that's really helped build that together. And I'm not saying them explicitly, but hoping it comes through in conversation.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. We've got a question here for you. Lisa asks, did you design your own logo, Krishna? And she loves the look.
Oh, thank you. No, I didn't design my logo, but I did give them the idea of the pentagon because of the word five, and because, I came up with 5 brand values. So, that then gave me my name. And the other thing that coincides with is the 5 elements of accounting. But I did use a company called KH Marketing to help me with the logo design. I just found, like, if it's done more professionally, and I can get it in different sizes, because obviously I'm not a graphic designer, so you should outsource things that you can't do. So I got them to design my logo, and I'm really happy with it. And I like it.
Absolutely. I love this because you've really focused on the things that, like, your business, so you were able to create the values, what you wanted it to feel like, but you have realized that you're not a photographer, you're not a logo or a graphic designer, and you needed other people's help to help you with this, and you've looked for where people have that expertise. And it really does come across. You're so right. It really does come across in the look and feel of things. It gives you that confidence because it's a professional job. So well done for recognizing that and noticing that. I'd like to ask, because you've been on our 6-month success program for a while now, and we obviously cover some of the things you've spoken about there, and the community. I know you're very, you're active in the community as well. Did you feel like being with the community in the Success Lounge made you think, I'm really not happy with K Accounts and I really want to up level, seeing what other people are doing? Did that help you?
It did help in terms of to see what else is out there and how others have named and how others are confident and see their business. And that's why I kind of it just kind of added to my insecurity about the first name. And it just felt like, actually, I really do need to change it, because I saw the confidence of others and I saw how, they were really happy with who they are and what their business is and everything like that. So that kind of pushed me to do that a little bit more and do it sooner rather than later. And there's a couple of things I've picked up from the program. I've said this a number of times, like, start as you mean to go on, and you really need to be happy with who you are before others can be happy with you.
Yeah, Has it affected the way you go into conversations then with other people? Do you feel more like confident with your business and that you're able to support them? Does it change the way they perhaps perceive you as well?
Yes, I think so. Because I'm able to speak a bit more openly about my business, because I know exactly what I'm saying and exactly what I stand for. So I do think that putting that time in initially has really helped me now, and it will do going forward. So yeah.
And I think I can see it in you, Krishna. And I feel like when you first joined us, and you were quite quiet and timid. You definitely are coming out more like, yeah, I'm here now, everyone, and I've arrived. So that's definitely how I feel about you. Whereas at the beginning, you felt like you were quite new to the scene, and you were testing the water. But this really does help, and I think people think that the branding and marketing is all about, I don't know, visibility and just talking to loads of clients and things. But it's the confidence it brings means that it hits every part of your business, including your pricing, including your systems and processes. It really does touch every element of your business. It's not just a standalone just so that your social media looks good. It really, the brand, when you get that brand voice and you know who you are, you have arrived, and you're like, I'm a proper business owner now. Yeah. I'm not just a bookkeeper. I'm just an accountant that's running this service from home. I have a proper business, and people can tell that. And then that means that you can share this journey with your clients quite openly, because some of them might, if they're service-based business owners, they might not have gone through this journey, and you can already add that advisory and say, do you know, if you worked like this, you could really help get your ideal client and help them get more business. So really, really proud of what you've done. Lisa's asked another question. Was it the need to incorporate that drove your decision to rebrand, or you wanting to rebrand that drove your decision to go limited? Oh, good question.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the second, where the rebrand led me to then go limited. Because obviously I've taken, I thought about this all over Christmas, and that's when I took the decision of, to go out and fully do this on my own. And there is a lot to think about, and I'm glad I had both of you to talk to, and the program is really good, and it's covered everything that you need to kind of set up and get going. And completely agree with when you said, it's really important to understand who you are. So the rebranding led me to then incorporate a limited company, because I knew that that's the way forward, and that's what I had to be ultimately. So why wait until next year? Why not do it now? Because I think when you wait, it's just extra admin to do afterwards. It's better to do it from the beginning.
Yeah, and when you're busy, you don't want that extra admin either. Penelope said that she's found that having her business branded has made her social media posts more easier. It's improved her confidence, and it feels like she's got a grown-up business. And I sense from talking to you as well that this has helped you take your business more seriously. Like you were talking about having good systems and processes, and Jo touched on being able to price more confidently. Has this helped you with pricing? Do you think it's helped you put your prices up, or maybe approach pricing in a different way?
Yeah, definitely. And I go about the fixed price packages, and it's tailored to every business, so it definitely helps me price more confidently as well.
Cool.
That.
What would you? Sorry, go on, Jo.
I was just going to say, Violet's asked a question. When you rebranded, did you lose any clients, or did you have to let go of any clients?
I didn't lose any, but I purposely disengaged the clients because they didn't sit with what I was comfortable with, and they didn't suit my ideal client. And it was one of those things that, when you start off and you're just like, they've asked me for my services, let's sign up and go. But actually, after a couple of months in, I realized that they were not right for me, and I took the decision to disengage them. And I know this is very hard for some people to do, and I'm kind of lucky that I didn't really have to think about too much of the financial side of things, but it was more important for me to be with the right people. And I'd rather have 5 good ideal clients and lose one than having to spend that time, the equivalent time on this one, which was being really difficult. So that's one of the decisions I made after rebranding.
It's like an opportunity, isn't it, to go, right, everything's being shaken up a little bit and this is the time to make the changes. That's really interesting. And I think that's early in your business, like you said, it is quite a bold decision, because I know that lots of people are starting out. When they're starting out, they're thinking, I need any client who's going to bring money in right now. But actually, like you say, if that client is taking you way more time than it is to service several other clients, actually, if you free your time up and maybe take the hit 1 month from that fee, it's going to give you the time to fit in the sales calls to speak to the people who are your ideal clients. So I think that was a really bold, brave decision, and it's obviously served you really well.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who are thinking about rebranding their business, or who haven't done anything about this, who were like joining us going, I need to be on social media, I don't even know where to start? What was your starting point?
I think the starting point is to really sit down and think why you're starting this business in the first place, what's important to you, and how you're going to provide the service to the clients. Like, how do you want the clients to perceive you? I think really spending the time to think about that and writing down 3 to 5 words which speak to you will really help, set the foundations. And I think if you do that, then your social media, like Penelope said, it will fall into place, and you'll know what to talk about, and you'll know how to go about it as well. So I think, I think it takes a good part of a half a day. Just kind of really sit down, just make a list of like your ideal client, why you set up this business, what you're going out to do, really helps.
Absolutely. And it's yes, it might take you half a day. I mean, I find with this kind of thing, I like to take myself away from my laptop, maybe go to a park and like sit on a blanket and just have a notebook and just write, or go and take yourself off to a restaurant on your own. Get away from the noise, because you really need to think about this stuff. What plans do you have for the future of growth? So, is it just you at the moment, or are you thinking, have you reached where you want to reach, or are you thinking you want to take people on, or what ideas do you have for the future?
So right now I'm at 15 clients, and they vary in terms of sizes and what they require from me. So I'm actually at about capacity now. So if I sign up 3 more clients, I'm going to have to seriously think about taking someone on. And the way I've forecasted it is January, I'll be employing someone. And I know there's loads of things you have to think about before that. So I feel like January is a good time to start employing. And I want to grow. I don't want to subcontract or get freelancers in. I do actually want someone that's going to be really part of the team. And I think that's another place where your brand values come in, because obviously that will help you find the right person for you. And that's the plan. And then it's not to stop there. It's just to take it as far as I can, really. I don't have a set goal. I have short-term goals, but the very long term is I just want to grow this and grow this and grow this.
I love how far you've come since you started. So you started the business I feel like you joined us in like January or February this year on the 6-month success program. Is that right?
I went out completely on my own from March, and then rebranded and launched Five Accounting in June. So it's not been long at all. And to be fair, I haven't done any advertising. I haven't done much. I'm still working on my first lead magnet, which is now going to start. And then get my newsletter sorted. So that kind of just shows how much of a difference rebranding has made for me. But for me to come this far, and then obviously, I could take on more, but I don't want to sacrifice the reason why I started this. I started this to be there for my children. So I can't take that away. So I realized that I need to employ someone, and that just added to like how I want to grow this.
Do you feel that when you set out to achieve, and your initial whys about, being around for your children and things, and obviously, there's a few financial goals as well. You say like you're lucky in the position that you are able to grow this, but do you feel like you kind of have reached your first goals? I mean, it sounds like to me that you've done really well. Have you got that balance that we're all looking for at the moment? Do you feel like you've got it?
Yes, right now I do have the balance where I can happily work from 9 to 3 and then be there for my children in the afternoon to pick them up from school, and then don't have to worry till the next day. I do some weekend work and some evening work. It's just how things are, obviously. But I have, every month I set like a little milestone, but I don't see that as like my end goal. And then once I achieve that, I instantly plan the next one. So every step of the way, and I look at my forecast pretty much like 2 or 3 times a week actually, just so I know like I'm on track and that's where I'm going. So yeah, I do feel like I've achieved my first goal that I set.
Well, Kath has just said, what a success story, congratulations. And I think there are lots of people who are starting bookkeeping practices who are looking for exactly that, the balance, like making sure they're earning what they need to be earning, but that they've also got the time that they need for whatever their personal commitments are. And then knowing that you can bring a member of staff into the team in the new year, that's going to obviously mean that there's more money coming into the business because you've got more capacity. And I love how fearless you are, because some of these things that you've gone through are big challenges. A lot of people will be worried about, and we were talking to some bookkeepers this week actually about scaling and bringing people into the business, and it's a mindset thing. It's like, actually you're seeing it as, I've got the opportunity to take on more clients, employ somebody who lives my brand values, who can help me to grow my practice. That is going to make a financial impact to you as the business owner. Whereas it's really easy to see that as, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to give some money up to pay somebody else to look after this client for me. And I think you just really sorted in terms of your mindset, and you are very clear on where, although you say you're not like really focused on the goals, I think you are, and having it at the front of mind is really helping you to get that success. Just checking in with yourself all the time. Is this taking me in the right direction? You're getting lots of you should be so proud. It's amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
So so you're looking to bring someone in January. Yeah. What level do you think you would be bringing somebody in, just for people who are thinking about having the battle around this sort of scaling conversation? Who would you be bringing into your business first?
So I've kind of been in 2 minds, and I didn't know whether I wanted someone who's kind of gone through all their exams and are qualified, and that can really hit the road running, or whether I really want to bring someone in that can train and sort of build up, and they can then learn on the job kind of way. So I'm still kind of like, I don't know which one suits me, and it kind of will depend on the number of clients and the type of clients that come on board and what they require. If it carries on the way it is and the clients that I've gotten so far, then I might be looking at getting someone who's maybe just started out and done a couple of exams, and then are looking to train on, and that might suit me a bit better, because I think the initial role will still be part-time. It won't be a full-time employee, it'll be a part-time employee. So it might suit someone like that better. And then the other side of me is also like someone like me who's, children, have had children, and they're wanting to get back into work, and it might suit them really well because they can sort of fit it around their childcare requirements.
So I think, like, listening to what you're planning and things, your focus really needs to be on your standard operating procedures, like your systems and processes, whether you record them as videos, whether you create documents, however it is that you want to do this. Because I've been there. I've just taken on another member of staff, just offered them a job yesterday or the day before. This week is rolling into one, and I know that that there was an area, payroll, that I wanted. Paul needs some support in. So Paul's been creating those videos. As soon as you start thinking, right, what are they going to need to do? Where can they help leverage my time? And I definitely think, I used to really think that there was areas in my business that I just wanted another me. And when I've done that in the past and tried to get someone either is the same as me or knew a lot more than me, but I abdicated responsibility, that's not good. What you need to do, you can always get people that are better than you. Absolutely, I'm all up for that. But what I love is that when I did that in the past, I didn't have my brand values and I didn't really know the customer journey. Whereas now I've got that so clear that they can know something more than me. I can sell them. I'm very much more outcome. I focus on the outcomes I want for my clients, rather than, I don't need to tell them every step of every single way, because sometimes some people come up with better ways than I would. But you need to say, this is the outcome that I need you to produce. This is how I would do it. If you've got other ideas, that's great, but it needs to be exactly like this. On this date, at this time, they need to have this output. And I found that kind of stopping being too detailed on every single process, unless it needs to be. There's obviously some things that needs to be, but sometimes some of my they completely think out of the box. So like now I create videos for my management accounts, which I just never thought of. I just wanted them to be on a PDF. And then my sister's husband went, well, it's really hard to read a PDF. Why don't you do it as a video? And now he creates like little congratulations things and well done. You've got no missing items. Woohoo! And all this stuff. And it's fun. And I would I would have never thought of that. But it's sometimes, so this is, embrace the fact that they're not a you, embrace the fact that they're coming at it from a different angle, make sure they have structure, really map out their first week, or even if it's 10 hours, however long they're working for you, really hold their hand and give them that focus. When you do that, I've had experienced such better onboarding of staff. And once you know the process, you can put it, when you grow again, if you work on that now, you will have that, and that is like your brand as well. How you onboard a staff member is exactly how your brand voice is as well. So I'm so excited to see how you grow for the future, and so pleased for what you've achieved so far, Krishna. I know that everyone in our group is like really rooting for you, and thank you for sharing, because I know you would have really inspired so many people today. And I know it's taken a bit of a brave step, another brave step today, to come out and talk to us. We really do appreciate it.
I still don't do videos, and I've spoken to Zoe and I've spoken to Catherine from our group as well, and I'm like, really need to get out and do videos. So that's like my next.
It's hard though. You can't do everything though, and that's actually a question. Like Joe's been talking about operating processes, but I'm wondering, for people who are watching and thinking about rebranding and what you're doing on social media, do you outsource any of your social media, or do you do it all yourself? How do you keep on top of it?
Instagram I do on my own. I have started to sort of get some help with my LinkedIn, but again, that's at very early stages, so we'll see how that goes. But I can see how, as it gets busy, I'm not going to have much time to do that, and it might be something that I outsource while still having like a personal input, because I don't want it to be somebody else. I'm very much like, it's my social media, it needs to be me. I still feel very much like that. So yeah, we'll see how the time goes on.
I think, personal brand is important. It's just working out what the balance is, isn't it? It's amazing. Well, you're getting lots of encouragement to do a live from Catherine. Who's praising do a live. But everyone's saying how amazing your story is and how inspiring it's been. So Krishna, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about your practice. We think you're doing such an amazing job, and we can't wait to hear what happens next. Would you let us know, how can everyone connect with you and find out more about what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, and it's at 5 Accounting Limited and on screen. And I'm on LinkedIn, and it's just my name, Krishna Patel. You might find hundreds, so maybe search by 5 Accounting. So I'll put the links in the group afterwards as well. So, yeah, great.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. For anyone who is here with us for Bookkeepers Bootcamp, don't forget we're going to be back at 1 o'clock, and we're speaking to Ruth Patel about how we can build our confidence and how we can overcome self-doubt and really enjoy our businesses more. So that's going to be a really good, if you need some more of this great mindset, we've been talking about it during this session, come and join us for the session at 1 o'clock, because I know that's going to be a really powerful one. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. We will see you at 1 o'clock. Got a couple more sessions for you today. Don't forget, you can get text alerts if you're missing the sessions. I keep seeing, every time I talk about it, more people sign up. So if you want to get the text alerts every time we go live, text bootcamp to 66777 and you will be added to a text list, and that means that you'll get a notification every time we're about to go live. You can only do that in the UK. You'll get charged for 1 standard network message rate when you sign up, and then you'll get free updates every time we go live. Thanks everyone for being here. We will see you later. Thanks Krishna. Bye.